Welcome, welcome, welcome to Marriage the Real Talk. Your girl Amber here, and I'm so excited that you guys have joined us tonight. You are in for a treat. Let me just let you know that. So go ahead, get your popcorn, something good to eat. Maybe get a piece of fruit. Let's do a little bit better. Let's get a piece of fruit. Get your favorite beverage and go ahead, relax. We are going to have a wonderful conversation that you're not going to want to miss out on any aspect of this. Okay. If I don't know you, I'm Amber. Hello. I am the visionary and mind behind this group called Marriage the Real Talk. And though it says marriage, I do want you to know this group is for everyone, no matter if you're a single, married, divorced, widowed, separated, it's confusing, situationship, whatever you call it, we have something here for you. So come on in, take a seat. Hopefully you'll stay around. We are here to empower, encourage, uplift, and grow through community and sharing our different aspects of our relationship journey. Why? Because marriage or relationships in general have so many twists and turns. Can I get an amen? So with this group, the goal is that we can come in, learn from one another. I believe that we overcome through our testimonies of sharing and learning. If you've been through something I'm about to go through, tell me what happened, what was good, what was bad. We can all learn and share from one another. But today's conversation, we're going to just go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to be talking to a beautiful couple who have decided, that they are ready to share some different aspects of their relationship journey. And I know it's going to definitely be a game changer for all of us, myself included. I'm super excited to have the Hicks with us. I'm going to have them go ahead and introduce themselves here in a moment, but their storyline is going to touch in different aspects today, okay? We all know the love story, right? Feels good, let's do it, right? But then there are these different aspects of some of our relationship journeys where they go through the bumps and the bruises of that whole process of oneness, right? And so we're going to also talk about how infidelity and mistrust and reconciliation has come into play into their awesome marriage testimony. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring them on up and we're going to get started. All right. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Let me go ahead and unmute you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Good to go.
We're good. Hey, go ahead and introduce everybody to who you are. For some people may know you, some people may not.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us a little backdrop of who you are, a little bit about you, and then we'll get right into things.
Yeah. So this is my husband, Franklin. I'm Tishonna. We've been married for almost 11 years. We have oh my God, 11 long years. But we have 3 kids, Frankie, Melania, and Mazzy, 6, 4, and 1. And we've just currently, really in the last few months or so, have really been enjoying just our new season that we're in. So we're excited to share our story with you, and we are going to be transparent as possible to help as many people as possible. So we just promise to you, we really won't hold back any secrets or really any details. So
that is awesome. And you know what? I'll just start by saying thank you. It's not every day that you get an actual couple that's on the same page and willing to get to that place where you can share from a healthy place, right? But we just thank you in advance for coming, for your yes, for being vulnerable, and sharing your story, because I know it's going to really touch a lot of lives, and that's what we're all about, is impacting and enhancing one another's lives. So we're going to jump into the questions now. Everybody know me here at Real Talk. No, I have a Rolodex of questions for everybody that comes here, and you guys are not the exception to the rule. They have at least 20 questions or more that I gave them earlier this week. We will not get to them all night, so we'll hopefully have them back for round 2. But we're going to start with the basics. How did you meet? You said you've been married for 11 years. How did you meet? Give us that. How did you meet?
We met at a church I used to be the youth pastor at. It's a church called Solid Rock in Monroe, Ohio.
Okay.
I had just graduated from seminary school, and I went on this 40-day fast thinking that like I was gonna start operating in signs, miracles, and wonders, and actually nothing happened. I felt like nothing happened, but I lost weight. So coming off that fast, not dating, just trying to figure out myself or whatever. I've seen her many times, but she just never really. I mean, she's always been pretty, but it never really caught my eye. Like, hey, I want to get to know her. And then one day it was just like, boom! I'm like, who is that? Let me get off this stage and holler at her. So my nervousness. So I never been nervous, right? Never been nervous to talk to a woman. I'm rehearsing in the mirror the day before service. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna say this to her, I'm gonna say this, then say that. When I got to her, the only thing I could think of, I was like, hey, I'm that guy on the stage. She was like, okay. I don't know why I said that. I thought maybe I had to give me some points or whatever. But that ended up leading to us getting each other's number. She kind of blew me off the first couple times. I was persistent. And we built a great relationship after that. Well, on the beginning, the brinks of a good relationship.
Yeah.
That's good. So how long did it take for you to finally get the courage to talk to her?
I would say probably about 2 weeks.
Okay. And what was your reception to that? So what was your reception to that?
I was really in a place where I was just really dedicating myself to the Lord, because I had kind of gotten out of just a little fling, I guess. So when he approached me, I'm like, oh Lord, he's gonna try to do something. Anyway, I knew, and I wasn't ready for that season just yet. So yeah, I did. I really, he called a couple times, and I just really wasn't wanting to go in that direction. So I kind of kept him at a distance, but we ended up talking because I felt bad for dissing him a couple times. And then from there, we,
I locked it down.
Hey, for the win. What were you guys' expectations going into marriage? What did you have any, or did you have any? Let me not assume.
I think it was two total dynamics. On my end, how I was raised and where I came from, I really didn't have any expectations, with the exception of her just being like, I guess, kind of like my mom. From a standpoint of, being a wife, cooking, cleaning, I take the trash out, I go to, I really didn't have any spiritual expectation. I thought she was a beautiful trophy, as far as ministry goes. Mm-hmm. But I really didn't have any expectations that I should have had.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, I just wanted to always be loved. And I had a father who was so loving and so faithful and so protective. And I felt very safe with my father. So because he was very similar to my dad, and just the fact that he ministered and had a position at a church, and not really necessarily knowing the depth of him, I really just thought that he'd be able to fulfill those lonely places and be what I've seen my dad be in the lives of so many people. So I really just wanted to be loved.
Yeah. That love word.
Right.
Woo, love is deep. So we're going to switch into a few things before we go into the deep end. Okay, we're going to start shallow. How did marriage change when you guys had children?
It gave us a sense of responsibility. My first child, which was my son, Frankie the third, it rocked my world. Like I've never been more excited than I was when I had him. We had challenges, like any couple would have, as far as time, and we always been really great parents, regardless of what we dealt with. As far as we split time. If Monday through Wednesday I may put him to sleep, or I may fix bottles, and then she may do the rest of the week. So we always switch time. But it didn't really have a negative impact that I can think of.
Well,
as far as our kids.
Not our kids, but in our relationship, it did. We weren't connecting. We
wasn't connected from the jump. So
right.
It didn't change for me. You know what I mean? Like the kids didn't come, and then we got disconnected. As we grew and had counsel stuff, we realized I was never connected. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So for me, it felt the same. but for her, it could have felt different.
No, I think it was just a continuation of now we really couldn't focus on each other because we had a kid.
Yeah.
Another kind of level of just separation with intimacy that really we never had at the beginning.
Yeah.
So when did you recognize you didn't have it? Because I think that's a really key point. You thought you had something that was not maybe there, or the expectation of what we thought was never there. When did you recognize, oh, what we thought we had, we really don't have that? Was that when your child was super young? And I'm even saying because I have 2 young babies, and marriage shifts from the single life to child 1 to child 2. So when did you guys recognize, oh, wait, something's missing here?
I think maybe, if you don't mind, Amber, this could probably be a segue into our story a little bit. Because
yes, go for it. Share your story.
Okay, so for me, we'll just kind of start from the beginning. You know, just like you talked about our expectations for marriage, I think for both of us, even though you really didn't have any spiritual expectation, you know, we were wanting something that we couldn't fulfill.
Right.
We at the time were very broken people. For me, I was looking for love. I was wanting validation. I was very insecure. I was wanting that connection with someone that was constantly letting me know that I was perfect for them. And with him, I mean, he had his own struggles too. So, I mean, some of those issues were lust. Some of those issues were pride. Some of those issues were, I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but if you have a man that's dealing with lust, you know, and he hasn't fully like conquered it, you know, he's going to go to other places to get fulfilled. Well, he's going other places to get fulfilled. I'm looking to him to, you know, find love and connection. And the more he goes to his stuff, the more I'm going to him and getting disappointed. And it's just, we were never whole. We were never whole. And because of that, we were looking to each other to fulfill something that we never could do. So I think when we got married, we knew that, or at least I knew that the day that we got married, it just wasn't the right time for our relationship. And I knew even going down the aisle, honestly, that this isn't the right time.
Yeah. And then a piggyback, because I came from a broken household, a broken family. So I never seen like my mom and dad eat at the dinner table. We take family trips. We go to the park together. Like none of that was realistic to me. I grew up in the inner city, you know, where poverty was at a high rate, and you know, none of my friends had a father, you know, so we were just out kind of in the streets thugging it, you know, until I started switching my life over, you know. And so in the midst of that, nobody ever told me, you know, you're supposed to be with one woman. Nobody ever told me to save yourself before marriage. Those things were foreign languages to me, you know what I mean? So, you know, when I met her, it's just like it's another girlfriend with a title of marriage. All my girlfriends, I had sex with them when they call me, pick up, go about my business. But I'm doing that, but we living together now. You know, so now have no discipline, have no obedience, have no structure, because like I said, I lost my virginity in the 6th grade. My mom was on drugs almost my whole school year, all my school years, you know, so I was an adult way before I was supposed to be an adult. Now you tell me, hey, you got to love this woman. When I didn't even know what love was. I thought love was just her being with me and me being intimate with her.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
Because of that, I mean, pretty much right after I got married, y'all, it was in a week where I'm just like, this is definitely not what I thought it was going to be. I'm just like, I remember that week just crying because I'm just like, this is not the love, the affection, what I desired. I could already see a lot of things unfolding already in a week. And I'm just like, God, what in the world did I get myself into? So because of that, and on top of that, we were ministers at the church. He was youth pastor and I was helping him out. Now we don't know each other. And now we also have, okay, we're in charge of people at a mega church. So while we were just like, while you go to this person's, you know, graduation, I'll go to this person's baseball game. You go here, then I'll go here. Okay. So on Saturday night, you're going to be, you know, writing your sermon. I'll be hanging out with family. Okay. Sunday, churches all day. We were not connecting at all. Before you know it, we went several years in our marriage without going on any dates. And so because of that, when you have that, we were barely talking to each other. We had attitudes. We didn't invite Jesus into our relationship together. And then comes, I mean, I was dealing with insecurity in my own stuff, but then comes actual infidelities. And so here I am thinking and trying to be this perfect person for him, thinking that he was going to love me a certain way. And then he's finding that affection and attention from somebody else. And so this happened, not physically, and then also, you know, just little things here and there, emotional, and also, you know, texting. And so people have to know that infidelity isn't just, you know, I'm going to go out and sleep with this person. Breaking the covenant and that connection of your relationship to where you're disrespecting your spouse, and it comes in several different ways. So don't say, well, I have been faithful, I haven't cheated. No. If you have engaged in conversation inappropriately and have broke that vow in some way, that is infidelity. And so that really broke me. But at the same time, there was something inside me that was just like, Tishonna, you have to pray this thing through. You have to keep going. I mean, that was even 5 years into our marriage. So for me, you know, I had already saved 5 years of praying and warring and, okay, God, help me to be this way and help me to love like this. And help, I mean, just constantly just warring and, okay, I'm going to press into this scripture. And so finally, we kind of got over the infidelity issues, and we had kids, and that really didn't help us, because I really noticed at that time that Franklin was just still a little disengaged. She was very hands-on with little Frankie, but I'm just starting to recognize and feel that something is just not quite right. So we have our first child, and I'm still praying like, God, how am I going to get out of this marriage? But at the same time, I feel him saying, Tishonna, hold on. Our second child comes, and then I'm still noticing a difference. We ended up having to move while we were looking for a house into a hotel. And we stayed in that hotel for like 6 months. Yeah. And in that 6 months, God opened up my eyes to my husband, where I'm just like, where is he? There would be times where he would just randomly go out late at night. His moods and
I just had to do it. I had to do it. Back to you.
Started to lose a lot of weight, and just all these different, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, God, you have got to show me something, because something's not right. You got to intervene in this. So we ended up getting into our house. When we got into our house, we invited over his dad and some family members over. And I just remember Franklin being very odd. He kept going in and out of the house, in and out of the house. Sometimes random people would come by my house, and like I said, his demeanor, the way he was looking, just was not what I was used to. So, I mean,
So around that time, like the hotel experience and all that, I started dealing with depression real heavy. And the depression came from multiple sources. I had some church hurt. Then my mom died, and me and my mom, and my twin sister, we were really close. So my mom passed away. And then, of course, things are not going well with us. And I started to venture out. And like I said, I started to try to find a security or love in other people who I can have who could hold great conversations with me. Because me and her would drive to a restaurant and wouldn't speak at all. And that's not exaggerated. No. No talking. I turn the music up or something. We didn't have nothing, so no conversation. You know, so during them years, I started taking pain pills real heavy, to the point where when I stopped, my body got addicted to them, and I needed them, right? So I started buying them on the streets. I wasn't getting them from the hospital no more. So now I'm buying them from the streets. So it'd be 2 a.m. I start feeling withdrawals coming on my body. I jump out the bed. I'm going to go talk to my people. I'm going to get some pain pills. Like I said, even though I'm changed, I still got this connection to the inner city. I'm still I'm still in the hood, as far as my presence. People love me, who I am. I love them, so I have access to that still. So my wife would never imagine that I was doing those things. But, my late night runs was going to get medication to make my body feel better. Then I get the pain pills, and I'm a whole new person again. You know what I mean? As far as my attitude, my personality, so now we're dealing with addiction, because my was strong. We're dealing with infidelity, because it had nothing to do. See, infidelity has nothing to do with the woman majority of the times. It has to do with the disconnect that you have from the Lord and insecurities that you're trying to feel. It's a void in me that I'm trying. I was so insecure. I needed a woman to tell me, baby, you fine. I love you. It was just something about you. I needed to hear that. And it's a lot of men who you will see texting. They might not have done the act, but they still hurt a little bit just because they need to hear that. It's an insecurity. It's a void that needs to be filled. So we down a rabbit hole where, I'm talking to different women, multiple people, just doing stuff that I would never imagine come out of seminary school that I would be engaged in again. I came that was me. I came from that. See, in the inner city, people call me Hooper, but my real name is Franklin. So Hooper is a monster behind the mask. That's a different person, and that's a person who we on a journey together. With her help, we had to crucify and kill. So it's the point where we're on today.
So just very quickly, that depression, his addiction was exposed. He had to go and get rehab, where I was kind of left to be a single mom. And he was okay for a couple weeks when he got back in the house, and then he went straight into depression. So in 2019, he pretty much lived in an entirely different room. He didn't communicate with me or the kids. It was during that time where, that room was a mess. He didn't really want to be bothered. I was
working 12 hours.
He was, but, and then after that, and the jobs, a couple of the jobs came and went, and, I'm just like, God, you got to get me out of this. I don't know. I want this. I desire this. Like, I know that this is not him, but he is, I need something to break.
See the confusion part. This was the confusion part. I'll let you start back. The confusion part was she's seen times where I operated under the power of God. So she's seen what it can be, but what it's like. So that's the part where she like, I know dude can be this, but God, why am I getting this? And that's where that's the little bit of hope, the little light that she held on.
The tiny little
she's seen me in times in ministry, walking in integrity, doing things that the Lord, being in love with the Lord, being a worshiper, operating in the power of God. But then on the flip side, you like, bro, you a whole nother person when you fall into this depression.
It was bad. And so at that time, I said, God, I started to pray, and bitterness came in, and anger came in, and I decided to do something that I used to do when I was young in marriage, and that was to go before the throne. And God allowed me to just be healed. I got counseling, and at the same time, I knew that I had to make a decision to get him out of the house because he was being detrimental. And honestly, I didn't feel safe. His emotions were like this. His personality was sometimes crazy. I'm like, he has to leave. But I said, he has to leave because he has to change. Yeah. So there was a situation that happened, and that opportunity came where he had to leave the house. He had to leave the house. And because of that, I felt constant relief, but I didn't make that decision to have him leave the house out of bitterness or anger, but I did it out of love because I knew that he needed that to be restored. And so, he was out of the house for a very long time. And it wasn't until July where he had said, Tishonna, is it okay if I start taking walks with you? Throughout the week, and he would come over and we would take like hour walks together. And from there, when a friendship started to form, because our first friendship ever started to form.
Hold on, wait, Paul, did you say your first friendship?
Yes.
So let's rewind a moment for people who's speaking and looking in like, hold on, wait. They had a full family, everything. You're saying first friendship. What does that mean? Give us some insight. What does that mean?
With a friendship, there is a level of communication and there's a level of intimacy that you have between the two people. We never had that. She never was my friend. As far like I got friends that are my homeboys, they're my friends. Like I'll tell them anything. I confide in them. I trust them. I need them. They need me. It wasn't like that with us. We never went on walks and held hands and done those things.
Fun,
had
silly,
fun and laugh and
goofy.
joke. We never done that. So now I'm getting butterflies walking with her. I'm waking up an hour early, making sure my outfit, lace my hair right. I'm about to go.
Hey.
Years in the
10 years. Let's just say this is 10 years
that we're doing it. It was crazy. Yeah. And the thing about it, there's a lot of relationships out there that's like this. people just don't want to expose themselves.
They got married because of maybe lust. They got married because they felt like they had to because everybody else did. They got married because of the butterflies and not really necessarily knowing the person or taking the time to behold themselves. So you get into this relationship and it's nice and good for, a couple years. And then all of a sudden you're just like, why did I even do this? And then after that, we started to, he said, well, I'd like to go to church with you. And we started going to a new church. And it was at that point, I really wasn't interested in restoring the relationship at the time. My heart was still healing. But I still had that small little bit of hope, but my emotions weren't connecting yet. I was healing. So when we went to church the first few times, that is the first time together as we were worshiping, and we had our pastor speak into our lives, and a lot of other things happened where I'm like, okay, you know what? I think we can do this. And I began to pray, and slowly but surely, our friendship blossomed, and he came back into the home. I think I had you unpack the last bag in November of last year. And from there, we have really been experiencing a newfound relationship. And it is great to have a friendship, to be myself and to not feel like I have to be perfect, and to communicate. We can talk about expectations and be transparent, because on our walks, that's when he began to reveal everything, things that I was surprised he even shared. And so even that type of transparency really helped us. And I was healed to the point where I could handle that transparency in love and not get emotionally tied to his, the things that he used to do.
Ooh, I need to write 5 books, okay? Now one. I'm going to need y'all by 2023 come back with 5 books, okay?
Amen.
Every topic you just that is amazing. I'm mind blown. The fact that y'all friends, the fact that you didn't know you were friends and had to build a relationship after being married 10 years with a full family, you know what I mean? Going through infidelity, church pastor, working together in ministry, putting on the face, right? Not really living, but then how God can just flip it all the way around with willing hearts. I mean, wow. I hope y'all are listening. And if you're just now tuning in, welcome to Marriage and Real Talk. You missed a whole lot. So you're going to need a replay. That's all I'm going to say on that. You're going to need a replay. But they just really rolled out the synopsis of their story up to this point. And what I love is that it's not like y'all talking about this happened 5 years ago. This reconciliation is fresh.
This thing out right
We've
now.
been walking reconciliation out for, I think, probably 8 or 9 months now.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh,
so I moved away with a close couple of ours that we trust. See, the thing about it is when you separate from your spouse, they're mutual friends. And you got to be careful who you go to, because somebody can be spitting venom on
talk about it.
Spirit realm. We went to 2 people who we know loved me and her the same. So the advice they're going to give me is the advice they're going to give her. And it was great. So I could lay down at night knowing that she's getting sound advice, whether it was to continue with me or not to continue with me. That was her option. All I know is I got to put the work in now. I got to go to counseling. I got to go to group sessions. I got to, change the way I think. Right. I have to become a solid, a strong friend toward her. I have a foundation that when it does get rocky, that I don't go back to what I was doing. I had to basically put new tools in my toolbox to fix when something was broken. And something's going to break.
And I had to let him go. I couldn't. I had to release.
She was my crutch
and let go of the crutch. People in relationships, we enable horrible behavior. We have codependence. We feel like we need to control a situation, or that person needs us to be able to survive or to thrive. So I realized that, wait a second, I think in situations where you deal with addiction or abuse, the first thing that you have to realize is that you are valued.
Right.
Because when you're placing that person and you're enabling their addiction or you're enabling abusive behavior, you are not valuing yourself. So I had to take some time to understand me and to say, you know what, I love myself so much, not just him. I love myself and my children so much that I have to let them fall. And that doesn't mean that I'm like, ha, 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 you're going to fall and you're going to recognize what you lost. No, it was, I have to let you fall for me to let go of the control in love. That God can deal with you the way that he needs to. So while he was away, I had to take the risk. I had to say, you know what? He may not ever change. Even in it all, I still prayed for him. And I just said, you know what, God, your will be. And it was something I prayed about, and God really gave me peace to let him go because it was in love and for the sake of restoration. So,
wow. I have like 50,000 questions I want to ask right now, but I'm just going to start right here. How and when do you guys feel the infidelity came into place? How did that creep into your marriage? Or do you feel like it was there? Because like he said, he's up front. This was my wife before she came in the picture. I just thought she was going to be a nice arm piece. We're going to live together, have some kids. It's going to be easy. Now we recognize it's a little bit different. How, if there's an easy way to explain it, do you feel like there was pivotal points or something specific that allowed that infidelity piece to just come full-fledged?
I think that most men already struggle with lust, right? They already deal with it. It's like a 90%, 95% rate of church men deal with masturbation and pornography. Crazy.
Talk about it.
So it was already, the lust was already inside of me, right? It was already inside of me. Now, depending on what I allow my eye gate and my ear gate to see and to hear, was going to determine if that lust grew stronger or stronger. I fed him and fed him and fed him to the devil. I'm going to tag team with you, brother. I'm going to put you on an opportunity where you can meet this little pretty thing, and I'm going to have her say everything I want her to say to you because your wife ain't saying it. Y'all ain't even talking now. You mad at her, and then ain't nobody going to know. Don't nobody even know this girl. You can have this on the side, on the low for a long time. And I did. And but this is the thing. See, when you love God, it will be days I'll be driving to my house and I'll be weeping because the conviction inside of me, the conviction never went away. Every single time I felt convicted, I felt horrible, and I asked God, Lord, just some kind of way, give me the strength because I don't know how to break this.
And it was in that season where, God told me to just do warfare. And I know, God said to love him unconditionally in that season. And, I would every single night go upstairs and pray and shower him with love and be obedient and try to, because I knew that something just wasn't right. But at the same time, God was telling me to still love, which was very hard to do.
See, you can say you don't love your wife no more, or you don't love your husband no more. You can say she's not attractive to me, or he's not attractive to me. But the problem is the lenses that you're looking out of are lenses of lust. I look out of the lenses when I love God, and then he allows me to love myself. The love I have for her is unbelievable. It's just like I just want to be around her. I want to hold her. I want to talk to her. But it's only when I'm connected. When I'm disconnected, then I'm looking again out of these lenses of flesh. And out of flesh, you desire all type of stuff. This flesh desire. That's why I say crucify this thing daily. So I don't think it was like a set moment. I just think it was different things that just built up to finally make me say, hey, this I'm going to do this.
When that happened, Tishonna, how did that affect you? I know you said you started praying, and I know I talked to a lot of different women. Everyone deals with things differently. Of course, you being a person of faith, you lean on the Lord for that. But I would imagine your own process. I didn't sign up for this. Why did this happen to me? Why I got to intercede for him? Ain't he the man? You
Right.
know, all these things. Ain't he supposed to be covering me? Ain't he my husband? All these things. You know, I don't have to be here. I can do something else.
Because
I can do all that by myself, right? So
yeah.
when all that's going through your heart and your mind, as a woman, as a mother, because of course you're still trying to keep your family together too.
Yeah.
What is that process for you like? And outside of prayer, maybe any other things that you have had to do to, like you said, focus on you first. And I think one of the things you said was really good. I want to highlight. You talked about relinquishing the control. Now I'll just put this out there because I'm a woman like everybody else. Women, we manage, we nurture, we say we don't want to control, but it's kind of in our nature that we control. We think we're in control. So when you said earlier, you just kind of gave control to the Lord and took up your assignment to say, you know what? I don't know what all is going on with him. He's going to have to work through his own stuff, but I'm going to stay right here and work with this man because I believe in who he is. Like, that was powerful. But back to the question, what was your process like dealing with all those thoughts? And outside of prayer, was there any other thing that you did during this process?
Absolutely. I mean, let me not say that I'm like in my personal every single day. I mean, I had a lot of emotions, you know, and I mean, the infidelity to the addiction, that was a whole like 7 years, you know. So yeah, I was upset. I mean, especially when that addiction came and he's in a room and I'm single mom in it. I'm the one that's financially holding us down. I'm transporting the kids here and there. Absolutely. I had conversations with myself like, what the HE double hockey sticks did I even get in? I don't want this anymore. And the only thing I know how to do at times is to go to God in prayer. So, I mean, that prayer wasn't, oh, thank you, Jesus. No, it was like, God, I mean, coming before his throne boldly and having just conversations kind of with myself, like I didn't sign up for this, you know. And one of the things that happens is when you deal with infidelity, you know, for me, in the struggle that I used to have and being insecure, you know, you're looking at that other person or looking at other women saying, okay, what is it that person has that I don't have? You know, so it became actually seeing the person that he was unfaithful with or had communication with. I'm looking on Facebook, I'm looking at her picture, I'm examining her up and down, I'm judging her. But at the same time, I'm like, well, what does she have that I don't have? Well, let me be a little bit better. Let me be a little bit perfect. So I became a person that was kind of obsessed over that woman because of my insecurity. Then on top of that, I'm becoming exhausted because I'm already trying to be perfect. I had these insecurities. So let me do my hair a certain way. Let me lose this weight. Let me get more curves. Let me gain a little bit of weight. Let me, you know, cook him more meals. I mean, I'm constantly trying to work to get, so that created exhaustion, you know. And then let me not, you know, seem like an angel here. You know, I was getting attention from other places too. So if he's going to be getting attention from other places, then I'm going to give into it because I was so starved for that for so long. And at times I'm just like, I'm tired of being the holy one. I'm tired of being the one standing in the gap. I'm tired of being the one to always, you know, show you love. So let me get my little bit of fix over here, you know. So I don't want to ever paint the picture that I didn't give into conversations, that I didn't give into certain things that I was doing because I was. And, you know, it had to get cut off. But yeah, there are several things that you feel, and exhaustion and trying to be perfect and just getting tired and being so lonely, because one of the things that I want from him is to be seen. I'm wanting him to say, baby, I cherish you. I love you. Nobody else compares to you. So I'm sitting in this place with the person that's popular in this, you know, in the city that we're in, with the person that, you know, is a pastor at a mega church, with a person that can talk to everybody else and do everything for everybody else. And I'm sitting here lonely, you know, without a connection, you know. So gosh, yeah, let's not, I don't want to ever paint the picture that I was just this prayer warrior praying. There was just pieces of me that's just like, okay, God, I'm going to have faith in this. I'm going to pray for him, but trust and believe. Like, I was exhausted, and it really played a toll on my value and how I perceive myself to be.
I just take a deep breath. My God, y'all. So other question that just came in my mind when you said lonely, I want to ask you, Franklin, were you also lonely? I know she talked about being lonely in the day-to-life of all of that. But do you feel like you were lonely at some point?
Yeah, I think my loneliness was a little different. I sometime in your mind, you feel like you're the only one going through this. You feel like it's nobody else going through this type of situation in their marriage. Nobody's wife is acting like this, or no situation is like this, So what it does, especially as a leader, it puts you on an island by yourself because you are afraid to go confide in someone because you're afraid of being exposed. And now the devil got you by yourself and he's tearing you up. So I had that type of loneliness where I just wish I had somebody that I could just talk to. Like, I just wish I had somebody that I trusted, that I could confide in. And I felt like at that time I didn't have nobody, and I probably did, but the mind state that I was in, there was no one that I found confident in, that I could trust to expose my weaknesses and still see me as the man of God that God called me to be.
Gotcha. Why do you feel like you didn't have that person? And some people would say, well, isn't your wife that person?
Right. But we were never friends.
Gotcha.
So if we were friends before we got married, then I could have confided in her. Because I would have known how my friend would have reacted. So I would have had trust in my friend, but because we weren't friends, I didn't have her. So of course the devil would say, well, you used to be super cool with Tasha, Renee, Debbie, phone texting, and that opened up into a whole something totally different. Well, come over here and I'll talk to you, and whatever the situation may be.
And can I just interject and just say, do not talk to other people of the opposite sex about your relationship.
Yes, it's
not.
not.
One more again. Let me come up here real quick. Hold on. Say that one more again.
Do not talk to people of the opposite sex about your relationship.
It's not healthy.
Do not do it.
Even if you think you could, because I thought I could do it. Like, man,
no.
I ain't studying that girl. You can't do it.
No.
You can't
do no.
It. It's
and the thing is we can't be dumb. I mean,
it's not healthy.
Or ignorant. We know when it's about to go down a road that it shouldn't.
Right.
So let's just be wise and not make that decision.
Yeah.
I think that's so wise. And I was thinking when you said that flesh is flesh all day. And it will always be. And this is something that might help somebody, because I think sometimes when you get married, you think, oh, you're just going to have eyes for that one person and all this stuff. Like you just said, the enemy, especially depending on where we are at spiritually. I forgot who said it, but they said when you are dealing with certain things, I think it might have been Charles Stanley, when you are dealing with certain things like you're hungry, you're tired, you're cranky, you're lustful, you're horny, you're this and that. Those are the times you need to go sit down. Because the flesh is going to be the flesh all day. And so I think you make a good point. Don't text, don't reach out. Now, some people will say, I don't mind myself having friends of the opposite sex. What do y'all think about that? Any examples in y'all's life that you have that? Or I guess if you have mutual friendships, that's different.
Right.
But if he just has 5 girlfriends from high school, what's y'all's take on that? Or you have 5 male or female friends from college. Yeah. How are y'all gelling with past friendships at this point?
See, I had that. She really didn't have that, but I did. And I had some friends where I was like, as I'm telling you right now, I'm not giving up that friendship. I don't care what you say. That's my girl. That's my homie, my friend. I'm not doing this. And but where I'm at today, it doesn't matter if I want it. It's what makes my wife feel confident and comfortable. I mean? And if that friend loves you, they'll already understand.
That's so good.
Now, if that friend is being combative, then there's something there. It's something.
And the answer for me, because of where the boundaries that we've set in our relationship and what I needed, because before he came in the house, I made a list of requirements that he had to fulfill before he even approached getting back into the home. that's a no. Just because I have to safeguard as a wife and as a mother, I believe I am the safeguard and a gate, so to speak, of discernment in my house. So
yes.
sure that we have these boundaries. We're still establishing trust, and I know how the enemy works, and I know his weakness. No, and it's not to make me feel insecure. It's just that is his weakness. That's where the enemy comes in. So I don't take it offense, or I don't take it as something that I've done wrong now. It's just that's where the enemy comes in. So no, in your house, there are no relationships like that because of where our past was and what we need to make sure that we move forward. So in the Hicks house, that's a no.
We ain't doing that over here, is what she's saying. We ain't doing that. Quick question. What was something specific that specifically, or are there any specifics to you, Ms. Hicks, that made you want to stay married?
After? Yeah, like Franklin said, I just, gosh, if we just had more time, yes, and I do. The thing is I know people are just like, okay, you're gonna say prayer again, and once again, I'm a human. I had emotions, but I don't think we give prayer a chance. I really don't. And I know that people don't want to hear that that's the fix for everything. It sounds like a super spiritual answer, but there is a place when you submit to the Lord that you can go in your quiet time where he shows you, he reveals things to you. He is there for you. He encompasses you, and he allows you to see what your marriage can be. And although sometimes I did get disappointed and I did lose hope, I didn't always have the hope. There were people constantly, whenever I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm exiting out completely. Always, 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 God would send somebody, either an invite to a conference, either somebody would call, either somebody would say, just hold on. Even somebody would be like, Tishonna, just give it a chance. Just, you got this. Your family is going to make it. And because of those pieces and because of those people, and because of what God was showing me just on my quiet time, that's what helped me to say, you know what? And I knew what we could be together. But fully where he needed to be. I didn't know at the time if he was ever going to get there, but I knew what we could be. So I would pray into that. So
that is the power of patience, the power of perseverance, the power of faith. Because a lot of times we say we have faith when we love. And I was in a conversation the other day with some friends, and we talk about love. But love, God's type of love, is unconditional. It doesn't hold grudges. It actually forgives. It actually, all the things we read in 1 Corinthians, a lot of the love that we say we don't really have a real kind of love. And so what I'm seeing in you guys is an example of genuine, real love that doesn't say, don't mess up or I'm out of here. Correct. Why, honestly, a lot of marriages don't make it because we have gone into the viewpoint that you are here to make my life better. You're not here to hurt me. Keyword hurt. So anybody who's listening in, you may get hurt in marriage. The people closest to you are normally the ones that hurt you the most, and you hurt them too, right? It's a two-way street. And so what I'm seeing here is a good example of the reality of real love. Like, we're going to do life. And sometimes we say we're going to do life with this person. We're going to have a good time. We think of parks and roses. We think of good times and memories, but we don't think of the flip side. And I always say marriage is a blessing, but the biggest challenge of it is that you're going to see up close and personal all the imperfections, all the flaws, all the issues that the world outside of your bubble will never see. And you have to continue to persevere and press and believe and encourage and support and forgive and apologize. And there's no stop to it. It's an everyday, all day doing life, right? And so this is a beautiful thing. We're getting a lot of comments, and thank you to everyone who's joining in. Question over to you, Franklin. If the shoe was on the other foot, where she had initiated infidelity or mistrust or just kind of being outward, do you think you would be in a relationship at this point, or is that something you can't really answer?
Yeah, I can answer that. No, I don't think I would. I don't think I would have, but I think I would have made the greatest mistake of my life because I think the state that I would have been in, I would let my pride get in the way of what God was speaking to me, and I would allow myself to lose her. And I think it would have been detrimental to my life moving forward. Most men are led by ego and in their heart, their strength, and pride. And I would have allowed that. I wouldn't have received the words from people that God would have gave them to tell me that's a woman of God. She's your puzzle. She meets. You guys connect next to you. And I think I would have made a horrible decision, and I would have let her leave, and it would have affected me tremendously in a negative way.
How has the story affected your children? So the ins and outs, the ups and downs, all of that. Talk about that for a moment.
So this is just in general, when we are dealing with situations in our house, and I'm just speaking to everybody on the call, we have got to be mindful of the kids. Yeah. When Franklin was depressed and he pretty much stayed in our sunroom for months, he wouldn't really come out to see the kids. And that was different because the kids they love their dad. And so there were moments where even when Franklin was out of the house, when he had to move out, where it tore my son up. He would just all of a sudden just start crying because he wanted his dad present. There would be moments too where we were driving in the car and I turn around and we're all happy, and I turn around at a stop sign and he's got tears running down his face. And I look at him like, what's going on, little Frankie? Are you okay? He's like, I don't want anything to happen to daddy. And he was in all that addiction and stuff. I don't want anything to happen to daddy. I just don't want anything. And I'm just like right there. That for me was just that moment where I'm just like, they are feeling this. They are sensing this, even the stuff that, we have to be mindful of what's going on in the spirit realm. Yes. When you're looking at pornography, when you're having conversations, you are inviting spirits come into your house. Yeah. When I'm dealing with bitterness, when I'm dealing with insecurity, when I'm dealing with so much anger that I had towards him, I am inviting spirits into our house. Yeah. So while you're sleeping, those spirits are working. While they're playing, those spirits are working, and they are influencing your kids in ways that we do not see. So yes, they see mommy and daddy arguing. Well, how is that teaching them how to deal with conflict? They see mommy and daddy in a completely separate room. So what is that telling them about how to have a relationship? They see mommy doing what daddy's supposed to do. So how does my son even know how to be the man that he needs to be? And what is that saying to my daughter about, the position that she's going to take in a future relationship? I mean, we got to really think about these things.
Yeah.
They impacted my children, and I really had to make sure that I changed some ways that I was dealing with the situation. I couldn't protect them from everything because their father, was still living in the house at times. So, they were still experiencing that. But from my end, I still had to do what I could to make sure that they stayed in a good place. And part of that was me having to heal and be free from bitterness.
Wow. I want to segue, because we're almost out of time. How did you guys get to a place of healing? Because like you said, it's only been 8 months. So how did we get to the point where we are now on the mend and we're on the other side of this thing? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I would still say we're still healing.
We're
walking it out.
It might be years,
Yeah, we still say to people, we're definitely haven't arrived. We're still healing. I think one of the things that we did was at the beginning of the year, when he was just 2 months into staying, with us, or starting to, stay with us. We decided that we were going to create a vision. So one of the things that we did was we said that there's going to be marriage counseling once a month.
We made a vision board.
We made a vision board for our marriage to make sure that we were kind of staying ahead of the enemy. So how does the enemy come in? How does he come in with our kids? How does he come in with us? So we lacked quality time together in our previous, relationship. before God restored it. So we're going to have date night once a month. There needs to be accountability. So we're going to have marriage counseling once a month. There needs to be individual counseling where we can both, so we both have individual counseling once a month. We make sure that we have family time together. We make sure that, what else on our calendar?
One thing we've implemented that has been life-changing, and that's Monday through Thursday, or we try to do 4 days a week, where we pray together and we worship together from 8 to 8.
Yep.
That's been life-changing.
Since
November, we done that. And it was weird in the beginning, because most people have intimate time with just them and the Lord, where we're bringing this together. And I mean, that's the number one thing. It's been just unbelievable results when we started to do that. The way you feel, the way you view each other. I mean, the intimacy, everything just is out of the ballpark when we started that.
Absolutely. Wow. We're putting things in place to help us stay unified.
So we wrote these things down. These things are visible. We see these things. We hold each other accountable for these things on this vision board.
And then on Sundays, not every Sunday, but we'll get together on Sundays and say, okay, just check-ins. How are we doing with this stuff? We haven't had our date night plan, so let's get the date night on the calendar. Have you had your counseling session yet? Because I haven't, heard you say anything about it. Are you meeting with, our pastor or, so we
and all that stuff is just called putting in work.
Yes, the work.
That's putting in the work to be a success. Will you make mistakes? Will you mess up? Will it be hard, difficult times? Of course. But now you have the foundation. That's our foundation. We're going to go back to that. When we hit default, that's going to be our default page. It's going to be our vision board. And that's what.
Yeah. And another thing, last thing, I know we're running out of time, but we made a commitment to stay truthful with each other. So that is, truthful about things in the bedroom. That is truthful about, intimate times outside of that. I mean, we're open right now about everything, and I will even ask him questions like, well, how are you doing? Are you being tempted with this? Are you being tempted with that? Because once again, I can how you doing? He'll make sure that, we're moving at a pace that's comfortable for me. And if I say, this is triggering me, I just need a moment here. He's like, what, that's no problem. We've decided to be very open and transparent with each other and giving each other the liberty to ask questions to each other.
Right.
So transparency is so
good. I'm gonna recap a few things, and I don't want to let y'all go. I have more questions, but we may not get to them. But what I'm hearing y'all say is be intentional. Intentional. Have a strategy. Go ahead, Franklin.
No. Go. I was gonna say that word. Her mom actually prophesied that to me one day. Woke me up out of my sleep like the Lord said, "Be intentional." I'm like, girl,
that is one of my favorite words. It's the word that challenges me the most in every aspect of my life, but it's so important. What you're talking about is being intentional with your relationship, making a strategy, and also working together with that vision board, that vision goal. What about somebody who, I want to do all of that, but my spouse, they ain't into it. It could be her or him. They're not going to work with me. Any advice for somebody who's watching like, man, I want this reconciliation. I'm open to counseling. They're not. I'm open to prayer and worship. They're not. How do you bring it together? Is there a solution to that in your opinion? Talk to that real quick.
I've watched most people when divorce comes, it's when it's to that point, and it just seems like there's nothing that person can do. They've held on. We say keep holding on. That's just like physical abuse, like you getting beat up or there's something crazy going on, or he just won't. See, the thing about this is the reason we work because we both want to change. I mean, my life was jacked up and I'm still working out kinks. But I'm telling her I want to do better. Now, if a person says I don't want to do better, I'm cool. Do you? I mean, that's rough. That might be a little bit above our pay grade. That's rough.
That's hard. Reconciliation, I mean, the definition of it is it takes two people. Forgiveness takes one person. Reconciliation takes two people. That is a walking together, moving forward. toward a goal, and there is no reconciliation when one person isn't
that's
able
hard
to do it, and you've got to make it's hard to say what to do because every situation is different.
But what I'm saying is don't take that and be like, well, it's 2 weeks didn't pass. I tried. He still ain't praying.
Don't do that.
Because I'm going to tell you this. I'm open to talk to any male. They can get my email, get my Facebook. If I think they're serious, I give them my phone number. I'll know if you ready to work, bruh. Let's work. Let's do it. Now you can tell by that person's his excitement or his energy if he's willing to do it. If not, then it's nothing else I can do. Mine or anybody else's hands are tied, and from that point, you have to hear from the Lord as far as making that ultimate decision.
And I mean, some situations do require, once again, I'm not speaking to all, but do require a letting go, where there is abuse, and abuse just isn't physical. There is, where your life is in danger, mental abuse your life can be in danger. Verbal abuse, spiritual abuse, physical abuse, addiction, where your life is in danger in some way, shape or form.
The person has to want to change.
Yeah, the person has to want to change, and there might have to be a time where you let go, and that person, I didn't say divorce, but that person you got to give that person space.
Separation was the greatest thing for us.
It was, yeah. And some Christians don't believe in that, but God, I'm telling you, I walked with the Lord in that. It was what I knew I was supposed to do.
I don't know if I would have ever got to where I'm at if we would have never separated, if I never would have had to leave this house, because I never took.
And I knew it was the best thing for him. Yeah.
So. Yeah,
how long were you guys separated?
Almost a year. Well, no. Yeah, November.
It was probably about
9 months.
Yeah, about 9 months.
Well, December to November.
Yeah. Infidelity doesn't affect me. You got to realize, I hurt her mom. I hurt her dad. I hurt her sisters. I embarrassed my family.
Yeah, he had to go back and apologize.
I had to take these people out to dinner one by one and apologize and ask and say I'm sorry and give a testament on who I am now and why you should believe me after I told you to believe me the last time. You know what I mean? Like I had to do this and pray by faith in the power of God that their hearts will be receptive. That if he can turn the heart of a king, he can turn the heart of Tishonna, my wife's family. And that's what I desire. But even if they would have rejected it, I would have still did everything in my power to prove that I'm the man that she desired from God.
Yeah. So
you ended up, quick question. So you shared information, because a lot of people, my marriage is my marriage. I'm not telling nobody. They don't even tell maybe their family members some of the intricate parts of their marriage situation, but it sounds like you, Tishonna, shared with your family. So at that point, that's why he needed to go get, patch up the holes.
Yeah, I mean,
now certain ones, because everybody in your family is not going to be for the relationship. So you got to use discernment now, because if y'all get back together now, these people still mad at you. You just got to have discernment on who you choose to express the hurt, pain, and what you're dealing with in your relationship.
Yeah. For me, my family was a safe place for me. And I knew that. And I knew, once again, you've got to be careful, because some people do say, don't tell your family. But I have a loving family who, even in spite of the situation, has, once Franklin apologized, has embraced him with our arms wide open.
Now, if you tell your brother, he say, "Oh, let's go kill him. We're going to get that." Then he might not be the one that. If they ready to turn up, might not be.
Don't talk to them. Don't talk to them about their marital affairs.
Right.
This has been so good. I do have one final question. We're going a little bit over, but this final question I think is very important. I want you, Franklin, to talk to the men, and then I want you, Tishonna, to talk to the women. The question is, what do you think men need to know about infidelity? And you kind of just said one of the pieces I was thinking of, that it affects the whole picture. the enemy sometimes allows us to feel like things, not even just infidelity, but just in general. Oh, it's just me. Oh, it's just, no, it's affecting everybody. It's like a ripple effect. So I want you to speak to, what do men need to know about infidelity and reconciliation? And then right after that, I want you to answer the same thing from your point of view as a woman. And also, I want you to speak to, for the women who are fighting for their marriage, any advice on that, and we'll wrap it up with that.
Well, I know at the end of the day is men desire, you desire, y'all desire, I desire to be happy. The goal is I want to be happy, right? When you engage in that infidelity, and believe me, I know what you like. I know what it looks like. I experienced that. I haven't. I couldn't tell you how apple tastes if I didn't bite that apple. I've experienced that. I've had beautiful women in my past, but not like her. The substance that she brought to me, it transformed my life. Your wife was sent to you by God for a reason. And the only way your vision is going to change, the only way you're going to be able to see her different is by first submitting. You got to submit and repent. If you don't repent before God and repent before your wife and submit yourself to him, you're not going to ever be able to be happy and to love her. See, I had to realize, whether me and her are sleeping together or not, I'm a man. I control my life. Pornography don't control my life. Virgin don't control my life. Masturbation don't control my life. And all these other women with fine bodies or light skin, dark skin, whatever, they don't control my life. I control my life. I thought it was cool. I thought I was a G because I had multiple women. But I'll never forget, one of my friends, he's doing life in a penitentiary. He was one of the most popular guys in the neighborhood. He said, a real man is a man who has control over his life, who can be faithful to one woman. And it crushed me because we all say, sure, I'm real, I'm 100, I'm real. But how are you real when you can't be real with your spouse? For a long time, I've been claiming to be real, but I've really been fake. So I'm on a path now to create this realness in me, to where I say, even though the devil was bringing her on my pathway for temptation, I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. The deeds of faithless man I hate, they will not cling to me. Psalms 101:3. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I used to have to recite that over and over and over again because I only wanted to desire her. So I guarantee you, if you submit, find somebody to walk this thing out with you. Don't do it by yourself. Find somebody to hold your hand and walk this out with you, and watch what God can do. And I'm testament. We're a testament. It was bad. I got kicked out of my crib. It was bad. But I'm telling you, I have no problem opening up, answering any questions, emailing, talking, whatever it may be. If it's your marriage on the line, I'm willing to sacrifice the time. Where, Ron? If it's your marriage on the line, I'm willing to sacrifice the time.
There you go.
Man, and I just pray that everything that we've said is just monumental and it sticks with you.
You know, one of the things that I'm hearing right now that I need to tell somebody that's experiencing infidelity, and it's not just women that are experiencing infidelity, but men are also experiencing infidelity, is that you are trying to wrap around your mind, and it is driving you crazy about why this person would do it to you. It has truly torn you up. You are thinking about it night and day. Why would he? What is that other person doing? What is that other person providing? How do I need to change? What do I need to do? What is it that I need to work different in my life in order to be that person? Let me tell you something right now. It is not your fault.
Yes.
There are issues and there are things in your relationship. Yes, there may be things that you could have done better. But when someone sins, when someone goes outside of the marriage, that is not your fault. They decided to do that. There's nothing wrong with you. Sure, you could probably work on some things. I had to work on some things, but that doesn't give them an excuse to go outside of the relationship. So I just want to let you know that what they did has absolutely no reflection on you. What they did should not ever speak to you that you're not valuable, that you do not have a call, that you are less than, that you are ugly, that you need to get a big butt, that you need to have bigger boobs, that you need to do something with your face or your hair or be different. Let me tell you this, you are valuable. There is work still left to do. And yes, while he was doing his thing, the one thing that I had to do while I was standing was I had to make sure that I was doing what I still had a call. So while he's still figuring things out, I still have a call. I still have people that I'm supposed to reach. And no, I wasn't fully healed and our marriage wasn't restored, but I had to take some moment to say, you know what? I'm still important. I have to still continue to reach after my goals. I have a voice. I have things that I need to say. And so it's very important that while you are waiting, that you are working. And there are moments and seasons in my life that helped me, that I'm waiting on my marriage. And instead of saying, okay, God, when, because I would do that. When, okay, God, I loved, like you said, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Why in the world? No, while I was waiting, I had learned work. You've got to work. And that work for me was, of course, praying, but that work for me was saying, I still have some things that I need to do. I'm still working for the kingdom of God. And that doesn't stop just because he is not doing what he needs to do. Amen. And so I just really feel like I needed to say those things, even though I have tons of other things I need to say, I want to say. But I just want to let you know that you are valuable. And what was done to you has no reflection on who you are and what you are truly called to be.
Amen. So good. Oh my God. I wish we had more time. Y'all know y'all gotta come back, right?
Yeah, you already know. Yeah.
I'm gonna need y'all come back one more again and one more again and again. Okay.
Damn.
This is so meaty. Oh my goodness. And everybody's blowing up the chat over here. They just loving this. Anybody have anything? Go ahead and say some awesome words of encouragement to this couple. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I want to make sure I didn't miss something. Somebody has said something really good. Someone said you guys are an example of a power couple. I believe God placed you broken to fix one another. Wow. Sometimes you have to go through things in order to grow. There was a lot of damage, but the prayer and the love of God has healed that.
Wow.
Plus to give you strength to your testimony to help others who are weak and to hold them to become strong. That is powerful. Thank you for the comments and the feedback. This has been phenomenal. I wish we had another hour, but we don't. So we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. But this has been amazing. I feel like that last piece you just shared. Let me go back to my messages over here. That last piece you just shared, there was something I was like, ooh, I wanted to dig right there a little bit. The fighting for your marriage piece. How to just give a few nuggets to somebody who's fighting, who wants to give up. And like you said, if somebody don't want to do the work, because this is a two-way street, okay? How can two walk together unless they be what? Agreed. So if they ain't trying to agree, and the one thing that I just read in that comment is also true, is growth. Growth is ongoing. And I think sometimes the challenge of marriage is somebody's constantly trying to grow. The other person decides, I don't want to, pump the brakes. You pump the brakes for 30 days, maybe a couple months, maybe a year. But in this relationship journey, when we stop growing, then it's imbalance. And so speak really quickly, last question for somebody who is trying to grow. They don't want to give up, but they're fighting, but they're really strained. Can you say anything to that, either one of y'all? And then we're going to close.
You held on. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say this. I just want you to take a look at him and I. And that last comment really, it's still emotional to think about how we're here, because I didn't think we were going to make it at times. So I just want this to encourage you. I understand the fight. I understand that. I understand the struggle and trying and wanting to see it, and it's just not working out. I had to make sure that in those moments that I stayed faithful and to the word of the Lord. And I proclaimed that word to the Lord. And I had friends, I had spiritual friends who were by my side praying with me. They were there to speak life into me, accountability. And I just want to let you know, I just want to encourage you that your fight is not in vain. the moments that I cried to the Lord, the moments that I was on my face crying out, the moments that I had to seek counseling, the moments that I had to forgive, the moments that I had to do so many different things. And then to see God working in this way in my life is a huge testimony. So I just want to let you know, when you see this, I mean, we didn't even share the half of it, but if it can work in us,
it can work in anybody.
And if you hold on, I am telling you, if you want this to work, and this is where God has you to be, it will work out.
It can't be any I. You have to eliminate you and what you desire, especially the one who has done majority of the messing up. You have to respect her patience and her process. She may process this differently and a lot slower than you desire for her too. There was times I wanted her to hug me and she didn't want to. There was times I wanted her and want to. Normally I would get mad, but I had to respect that because all the damage I've done at night, when I lay down at night and I look over at her, it will bring it will get me emotional because I would see all the times and all the things I've done wrong to the woman who God sent to me. That woman who God sent to you, there was a reason you married her. There was a reason you fell in love with her. There was a reason that y'all connected. You got to get to the root of it and find that reason again. And I guarantee you, if you submit and repent, God will restore. He will revive. He will reconcile. He will do it all over again. I promise you.
And there are some Jacobs in this room where, you know, Jacob wrestled with, you know, the angelic figure. They say that he was an angel and he wanted to see God so bad. He wanted something different for his life that he said, you know what, I will not let you go. I will wrestle you all night until you bless me. He knew that in God there was something just completely different. He knew that he had to take a moment just to wrestle because he tried so many other different things to get satisfaction. And he said, you know what? I've encountered something different right here. So I'm going to keep wrestling. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep limp because he fought so hard. He said, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. So we speak, I'm not going to let go of this word until God, you show up. I'm not going to let go of told me until you come through. God, I am tired. I don't feel like doing this. I'm the one that's showing most of the love. I'm the one that's showing what I'm trying to do and try to be the right person. I'm the one that's doing all the work. But God, I'm still going to continue to trust you. I'm still going to work. I'm still going to say, God, I'm going to keep going until I see you, until something happens. So I just speak strength to you right now. I'm not saying that it's easy because it's not easy. I'm not saying that you won't have your moments because I had my moments. But there is a fight that has to be on the inside of you that says, you know what? Even though I need rest, and even though it's okay to take that rest and say, I got to pause, I got to work out these emotions. At the end of the day, there's still something that says, I'm still going to keep showing up, God, until you bless me. And that is when Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So there is a change coming. There is something that is going to happen. There is a change that take place. And I believe that just the right people are grabbing a hold of that word. Every relationship is different, but there are people that are like me that know that there's you got to hold on. You got to keep going. There is something that you've got to get over, because at the end of it, there is a ministry, there is beauty, there is a powerful voice as a couple that's going to change and shift and dramatically change a generation. So I just say that right now.
In Jesus' name. And I second that the enemy is defeated. Keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. You guys have been amazing. And again, on behalf of Marriage of Real Talk family and just the whole team, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for just encouraging us all. Everybody got something. I got a couple nuggets out of this conversation myself. And so until next time, we're going to have you guys back, hopefully in the near future.
Yes, we love it.
Some more truth up in here. This has been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I'm going to say goodbye to our team here. Everybody, thank you again for being a part of Marriage the Real Talk. We know that you got something today, and if you didn't, check your pulse. You might not be living, okay? Until next time, we hope you have a great rest of your day. And thanks again for tuning in to Marriage the Real Talk. Bye-bye.